Let's begin with yesterday because I kind of anticipate that these three games, they could play out very similarly to the one that played out yesterday. The Rangers can pitch, they can defend, they don't hit a ton. But yesterday, I think it was like a perfect outing for the Jays. Scherzer goes 7 innings, very efficient. Vladdy with a clutch home run in the 7th inning. Hoffman comes in and closes the door in the 9th. Like, it had a playoff vibe to it. Cubs are a really good team. Like, it just seemed to check every possible box you'd want to check if you were a guy like Ross Atkins or a guy like John Schneider.
Oh, it was playoff baseball. I mean, those two teams both are destined for postseason play. You had outstanding veteran starting pitching going at each other, and it came down to a big at bat, right? Vladimir Guerrero Jr. delivering. Interesting, they chose to pitch to him instead of walking him in that situation, and I think that it was, do you want to pitch to Bichette there with 2 runners on? Do you want to pitch to Vladdy? They chose to pitch to Vladdy, and I would have done the same thing. Although there are others who thought maybe you walk Vladdy there and you pitch to Bichette. But it was a great game, and Scherzer was fantastic. And I got to tell you, really watching that game, I think Scherzer now with 5 straight starts. I think since the All-Star break, he's 2-2 with a 3.18 ERA. I think the thumb's a non-issue right now, and I mean he truly looks like he's only competing against the other team, and he doesn't have that internal thought of, well, geez, I hope my thumb's going to be okay. His stuff was excellent, his location was excellent, his competitiveness was great. It was a great outing. It was great baseball, and it was a good win. It was a really good win, and Hoffman, he bent a little bit getting the runner on and then the stolen base, but got the swings and misses that he needed, and it was able to save the game.
So, Steve, obviously, when you take on the Texas Rangers, as the Jays will do tonight down at the Dome in the first of 3, you're taking on generally some of the best pitchers, best starting pitchers in baseball. It's Chris Bassett versus Jacob DeGrom tonight. They'll face Nathan Eovaldi on Sunday in a game where Barrios will be the starter, and they'll have to take on the lefty Patrick Corbin tomorrow. What is the challenge presented by this incredible Rangers staff, and how do you get to them?
Yeah, I think that what is interesting about this is that in the postseason, there's a reason why home runs are so important, because when you face the best pitchers in the game, who are generally on the best teams in the game, it's very difficult to lump multiple base hits together. You're not going to get 4 singles in an inning to put up a crooked number on the scoreboard. And so you've got to find a way, like yesterday, to get a walk and a home run, a bloop and a bomb, and or somebody makes an error and you hit one off the wall and you pick up a run. And so you have to take advantage of every opportunity. And one of the ways and reasons why the Blue Jays are so good in this sort of a situation, and why they'll play in playoff baseball, and why we've seen teams that have won over the last few years are offenses that make contact, that are difficult to strike out, is that when you get an opportunity to score, you've got to get the runner in from third with less than 2 outs. You got to put it in play. You got to hit a ground ball up the middle that, it's a ground ball. They get the out at first, but the runner comes in. You hit the sacrifice fly. And so you've got to make contact, and you've got to take advantage of every opportunity. So the situational at-bats. So Davis Schneider up yesterday, and Ernie Clement did an excellent job getting the bunt down and getting him over. And then he forced Craig Counsell into a decision. Do you pitch to Vladdy? Do you pitch around him? And he was in scoring position. Vladdy hit it out of the park, but if it was off the wall, they would have scored the run. And so I think it's, you got to take advantage of every opportunity. And the way to beat good pitchers is get them out of the game. Make them throw strikes, don't expand the strike zone, and force them to throw pitches to where they get to their pitch count. You got a chance to get in the bullpen because, even if you're getting shut down by an ace, it just has that feeling that when you finally get them out of the game, okay, now we're going to score, and you do. And so I think that's got to be the thing. Work DeGrom, get his pitch count up, get him out of the game, and take advantage of every opportunity you get.
With Steve Phillips, so George Springer made his AAA debut last night, rehabbing back from the concussion. He will DH tonight, and we believe he'll return to the team tomorrow, which means if he's going to be activated, someone's going to have to come off the 26-man roster. It feels like I would think maybe Schneider, maybe Lou Perfido. I believe both of them have options. How do you see this one playing out? It is a good sign that George is returning, but as a result, this was always coming when Jimenez returned. Now Springer's returning. Someone's going to have to go. How difficult of a decision could this be for Atkins and company?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think about when Santander comes back, if he does,
Yeah.
what that becomes, right? I mean, it's a good problem to have. And, then at this point, when you make these kind of decisions, you've got to make sure that you have every situation accounted for. So if you're going to pinch hit, you need somebody to get on base to lead off an inning. Do you have that guy to come off the bench and do it? We saw the John Schneider making moves in that 8th inning yesterday, or the 9th inning, where you ended up with 5 different players, Jimenez coming into the game and moving Clement back over to third and Barger going out to the outfield and this guy going here. You've got to make sure that you have everything taken care of. My guess is that Loperfido probably is the guy because you got Nathan Lucas who sort of serves as that left-handed bat. And Schneider gives you a little infield, little outfield, and he's had some really big at-bats.
Yeah,
and the
he
catch
has.
he made yesterday, how about that catch?
Unreal.
That was amazing. And I didn't know he had it in him, but that was an outstanding play. So my guess is it's probably Loperfido. And maybe what they'll do is they'll work some matchups to see if, down the road, if they're going to face a tough right-handed pitcher, then maybe Loperfido comes up, Schneider goes down, and they can play with that a little bit as they move forward. But I think that's these are the good problems to have right now. Tough conversations with the players, but good problems to have.
So a lot of eyes on Buffalo these days, Steve, with Springer playing there, with Shane Bieber getting a start. And yesterday we saw the phenom, Trey Savage, who's making an incredible rise through the minor league ranks, starting in low A at the beginning of the year and now all the way up to triple A. And now a lot of speculation that he could indeed play a part in the Blue Jays season from here on out if all things go well. He had his first triple A start. It didn't go particularly well, an inning and 2/3, 3 strikeouts, 4 walks. What did you make of the young man's work there, and how does it bode for his major league prospects in your mind?
Yeah, so, it's interesting that because other teams have given these young guys shots in the big leagues, it makes everyone think that well, this has got to be a possibility too. But again, just like, with Springer coming back, somebody's got to go. Then who do you take off the roster to activate him if you do it? And the one thing, he's not going to start, right? That's clear. He's not going to be a starter and supplant any of the starting pitchers on the Jays. So the question is, can he be a weapon out of the bullpen? And if he is, he better throw strikes, right? You don't want to bring a young guy in, have him walk 2 or 3 guys, and then put yourself in a deeper jam. And so that first outing doesn't really play into his level of building confidence for his place at the big league level. So, I think that for me, I would tell him this is for your own development. This isn't about you being on a big league club. Just go and get some work and some experience in at this level, but trust your stuff and believe that you can throw it over the plate and get hitters out, that you can throw strike one in the zone and then later in the at-bat expand the zone. But if you go in there thinking I got to miss bats on the first pitch, all you're going to do is find yourself in trouble and giving up a bunch of runs. And so I think this is way more about development than about having it be an option for the major league team. Now, for Bieber, it's getting him ready. Manoah, not part of the equation for me at all.
No.
I mean, at 91 miles per hour, his stuff's not there. So I'm excited about Trey Savage and what he's going to be. I think he's got a chance to be a really good prospect. But the idea of then transitioning him out of the bullpen and, do you do that? I'm moving, 2 of the starters that aren't in the rotation for the postseason into the bullpen, and they're going to get the ball for me before I would give it to a young guy who's just kind of finding his way.